Check, please.
The housing market has been incredibly chaotic. People are overpaying, rates are increasing, people are getting worrisome. If you're in a house that you overpaid, what do you do? If you're looking to buy, there's a lot of questions that need answers, and Paul will help us with these right now. Paul has owned thousands of units of real estate. He has rehabbed houses, flipped houses, and rented houses. And so we will give you some insight in this video about the housing market, where it might be headed, some analyst expectations, and what all these ramifications might mean to you as a homeowner or home buyer. Paul, give it away. Take it away, baby. What do you think? This is getting a little dicey out there.
I'm not trying to predict any crash. I don't know if there will be a crash or if that's even possible.
Are we due?
I don't remember until 0809, the country had never seen a decline nationally on home prices. All right. Does that mean it can't happen again? No, of course not. But I do see differences today that I did see in 08 and 09 as to why houses pricing were crazy back then and crazy today.
So a chief economist and a research consultant for Pantheon Macroeconomics is predicting a dramatic fall in the pace of home sales this year, 25% drop in sales. Paul, it's still so frothy. A mutual friend of ours just this past week, and not location, in the middle of nowhere, Massillon, Canton, Ohio, $300,000 house. They bid $30,000 over, and they did not get it because there were 53 other offers.
Come on.
It's still bonkers. Now they're increasing rates. I just refinanced, luckily, but I could have refinanced a whole point and a half, even just 6 months ago, could have done way better, but it's going to go up. So what does all this mean to people out there? Questions I ask you. What if I'm in one of these bad houses and the market starts going down? Because we know a lot of young people.
If you're going to be in your house for a long time, don't worry about it. Just pay down your debt. Inflation will be your best friend. As inflation increases and increases, your home price will go up. Why? Because to build the exact same, let's say hypothetically, all labor and all construction costs triple. You paid $300,000 for your house. All of a sudden, the same cost triple, and to build your exact same house costs $900,000. Are you telling me your house is going to be worth $300,000?
I see.
No, it's not. That's what drives home prices. Is inflation. That's why you can see a place like Youngstown, Ohio, over the last 40 years has still seen increases in the price of their homes, even though the population has fallen in half. But I love hearing when people say, well, the population's growing, so therefore well, what does that mean? So if a town has 1 million people, let's say hypothetically everybody lives in a home, that's 1 million homes, and you knew for a fact that next year the population was going to double and go to 2 million. If you keep the number of homes the same, prices are going to skyrocket. Why? Because there's 1 million homes to cover 2 million people. But let's say you double the number of homes too. Housing prices are going to go with inflation basically. Why? Because you kept up with the demand. Let's say you built 10 million homes to cover 2 million people. What will happen to housing prices?
I see.
They'll collapse. So even though the population doubled, if there's more supply than demand, prices are going to collapse. That's what you saw in Phoenix, Vegas, all these places that were high flyers back in 03, 04, 05. That's why they collapsed 70%. Okay? Now, does that mean now this prediction of 25% drop? I don't know. I don't have a clue. But I still tell people, I still believe this fully. If you plan on buying your forever home right now, just don't worry about it. Buy your forever home, put your 20% down, make sure you have a stable job, you can pay your mortgage, don't spend more than you can afford, pay down your mortgage, and 30 or 40 years from now, in all likelihood, you will have made good money. Even if your house stays the same value for 30 or 40 years, you'll still make 6 to 8% on your investment anyhow, if you put 10 or 20% down.
Yeah, Paul, if you look on our homepage of Everything Money there, one of the articles that's up is mortgage rates are surging faster than expected, prompting economists to lower their sales forecast. This is
right here
what we're talking about. So, I guess not too much of a worry. We would expect the pendulum to swing backwards, but my final question is, Paul, what about those folks out there who in our community who have expressed interest in buying and flipping or renting homes?
So we have 2 chats in here about rentals, single family homes and multifamily. Very active chat. I'm an expert in it. I hate to say that word, but I am an expert in it. I really know what I'm talking about. The people ask me, I say, listen, can you get a good deal right now? Of course you can. But is it going to be something that's on the market just whenever things are too easy? You have to be cautious because you're not fighting the smart money anymore. You're fighting the dumb money. And nothing is scarier than fighting dumb money. You cannot win fighting dumb money.
What is dumb money?
Dumb money is the average person getting invested because the average person's dumb. We all out there sit there and say, oh, the average people are stupid. And yet we all get excited when the average person's doing all these stupid things. Just be cautious. What we're trying to do in this community, and what's great about having 6,000 people in here that you can get, is everybody's there to talk about the same kind of attitude that we're talking about here. It's because I guarantee your friends aren't talking this way. It's probably just you. So if you want to join and get all of this and everything for $1 a day, the biggest benefit is over 6,000 people in here talking and supporting each other. And I have a message there I have to go look at. But either way, it's just the way it is, guys. You got to be cautious when everybody's excited, and you got to be excited when everybody's cautious.
You've coached me in the last couple houses I bought I was a little hesitant. Am I overspending? And you sort of said, not really. You would expect it might be tough for the first few years, but as my job gets better, maybe my life, I start making more money.
And you bought your house before the income of EM even hit up.
That's right.
How do you feel now about your home mortgage?
Well, yeah, and it's funny you say that. So I guess I get worried for young people out there starting their lives because as a wedding photographer, I meet a lot of these people.
Well, Seth, you also bought a house, the pretty nice house.
Yes.
Bought a 4,000 or 5,000 square foot home, 500 some thousand bucks.
Yeah.
But your first house was 190 grand.
That's right.
You could afford that thing with your eyes closed.
So I guess maybe myself, our viewers, and if you're purchasing a new house, you shouldn't worry that much about the early payments as opposed to the last decade of payments.
Again, if you plan on moving in a few years, I would just say exercise caution.
Mm-hmm.
But if you plan on living, I keep saying, if you plan on living your forever house and you have 20, 30, 40 years to give, you'll probably do okay. When I say that, I mean looking out 20, 30, 40 years from now, not looking out 5 years from now. I don't know where things are going to go. I'm just telling you that if you pay down your debt and you let inflation take its course, even if you overpay today, you'll probably end up being okay.
For our folks who have been waiting, are you expecting perhaps a better time to buy than the...
Relative to values versus income, probably. Keep in mind, Miami, 0607. I know somebody who called me recently and said, I need help with a house I bought in Miami for $375 in 06. Guess what? Sorry, $425 in 06.
$425.
They're selling it right now for $325 in Miami, Florida.
Location,
and population growth.
Uh-oh.
And they're selling, and the only reason they're selling it for so high is because of the market recently.
So what happened?
It's just supply and demand, guys. It doesn't, I love it when I hear billionaires say like, oh, I'd go to this market because it's growing. Really? That's what matters to you? Growth? That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fine. It's growing. Bubbles happen, and I'm not saying we're in a bubble right now, but it is very difficult out there. 53 offers on a home. And guys, go look at Canton and Masson, Ohio. If you look at their MSA, they're one of the few populations that are declining in population now. I'm from Canton.
There's plenty of room out there. I mean,
there's fields and fields and fields of corn.
So I was floored. 53 offers.
Wow.
30 over. I just can't even. So you're having a conversation with your realtor. What should we do? I don't know. Maybe 30 over. What are we talking about? That just seems absurd.
Oh, but obviously the realtors are the great reasons for all this. No, it's the market. You don't need a realtor when you're offering 30 grand over ask. Come on. Listen, I'm looking to sell my house now.
Mm-hmm.
My realtor keeps telling me, Paul, the market's awesome. And I agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I keep saying back? You know what? If I take a hit 3 years from now, I don't care. I can afford it. I want to enjoy my home. But if somebody wants to take it off my hands today, by all means. But I'm fortunate for me that it's not my biggest investment. But for the average person, it'll be the biggest investment you ever make. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you not to do it, but don't go crazy just because everybody else is going crazy. Just say, okay, do we want to live in this home and do we want to live in this home forever? If the answer is yes, you can probably buy a lot of time. But don't worry in a few years if your price value goes down. It likely will go down in several markets. I don't know which ones. I don't know when. I don't know how or if it'll ever happen. That's why you have to look at the long-term aspect of it.
So we will keep you updated on the housing market. Paul, this is very near and dear to my heart. I don't own real estate, but I'm very much drawn to it. I'm drawn to being one of those old dads. You probably have them in your life. There's that one ex-girlfriend's dad, and he's got like 40 homes, and it looks like he doesn't work. That for some reason, I'm drawn to that, Paul. That just seems cool.
It's great.
And you currently own about 600 units. Used to be 1,000, but you're sitting on boatloads of cash. And when this all comes crashing down, we'll be doing a lot more videos on the real estate houses that you're buying. So stay interested, subscribe, fondle thumbs up, and we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.